Hello, bonjour and bonjour. It is a chilly January morning and it is far too early for me to be awake. And we're back in Béziers for the final video from my trip to the southwest of France. And today we're going on an adventure into the deep countryside. Because, I don't know if you're like me, but when you've been locked down for 2 months in your own inner city neighbourhood, all I want to do now that we're allowed to travel again is spend a day out in the middle of nowhere, surrounded only by trees and nature and fresh air and all that stuff. I am travelling by public transport though, so what I'm really looking for is somewhere in the middle of nowhere that has a railway station. So I thought, well, where would be the best place to go that has a railway station but the fewest possible people? And that's why today we're going to try and get to Les Cabrils, the least used railway station in the whole of France.
What the?
What?
Look, this guy! He's totally stolen my format!
The least used station in France. That's probably just a coincidence.
No, that's what I do. I make least used videos.
Is that Simon Pegg?
Right, it is 9:25 in the morning, and this is the train to... Actually, not Les Cabrils. There's only 2 trains to Les Cabrils in the day. There's one at 6 in the morning and one at 6 in the evening. 6 in the morning was a little bit too early, 6 in the evening's too late, so I'm catching the train at 9:35 in the morning to go one stop further, and then I'm going to walk back. The line that we're travelling on today is called La Ligne de l'Aubrac, the Aubrac line, I guess. It's a very rural and very scenic railway that crosses the highlands of the Massif Central and eventually connects Béziers to Clermont, 330 kilometres due north. The full journey takes 6 hours and includes the stunning Garabie Viaduct, designed by the same bloke who built that big radio mast back in Paris. But I'm not going quite that far. I'll be getting off after 1 hour at a station called, this. I think I'm going to wait until we hear the train announcer say that one before I try and pronounce it myself. Anyway, from there it'll be an 8-kilometre hike through the middle of nowhere, back to Les Cabrils, which should give me enough time to get there before 2:23 in the afternoon and the one and only train back to Béziers. Let's hope it doesn't get cancelled.
Monsieur, prochain arrêt, encore dans de...
Yep, I'm very much the only person getting off here. Welcome to Celle-Roquredonde, I think. The station gets its name from 2 separate places. Celle is a village of 300 people an hour's walk west of here, and Roquredonde is a village of 200 people an hour's walk east. So it really does feel like I'm the only human around. Guess I can probably take this off now. Anyway, I've now got a hike to be getting on with because, of course, we're going to a place which is even less busy. A station that gets 14 passengers a year. And we need to get there before 2:23. But while we're doing that, well, this is the internet, and I know some of you are already asking, how do we know it's the least used station in France? Where do they come up with that figure of 14 people a year? Does this mean we've all been microchipped already? And what's Bill Gates going to do with station usage figures? And that means it's time for a trip to Pedantry Corner. Okay, just to let you know, we are going to get properly pedantic here, so if you're not a pedant, feel free to turn the volume down for the next 2 minutes and enjoy the hiking montage. But for the 99% of us who are still here, this is how it works. Without actually microchipping everyone, it is basically impossible to know the true number of people who use every station. So instead what they do is the next best thing, which is to track the exact number of tickets sold to and from each destination. And yes, that means you're going to miss all the people who didn't buy a ticket, the people who got off at the wrong stop, and the people who are travelling on some kind of explorer ticket. But realistically, it's the closest we can get. Now, in the UK, the government publishes these figures every year. So if your name is, I don't know, what's a typical British name? Jeffrey Marshall. If your name's Jeffrey Marshall, you can go on the website and there's a handy PDF file telling you what is the least used station in Britain. But if your name is Geroy-le-Maréchal, you can't do that. The SNCF does not publish ticket sales publicly. They do publish this table of station usage figures on their website, but it's a bit of a mess. First of all, the numbers are based partly on ticket sales, but also extrapolations, calculations, and surveys, so the data's pretty muddy. And secondly, it includes several stations that aren't even open. If you sort the table by the least used, the first 50 rows have got 0 passengers. So honestly, my research was beginning to feel a bit like this hike.
Where am I going?
In the end, I got the friendly people of French railway Twitter on the case, but still, no one had access to the exact figures, and the best thing we could find was a couple of old articles saying that Les Cabrils, with its 14 passengers a year, is the least used station in France. Now, that number doesn't match up with what's on the SNCF website, so I'm assuming that the journalists got access to more accurate data, but I don't know that.
Les Cabrils.
At the end of the day, I realised the only way we'll ever find the one person who knows the true answer is if I go to Les Cabrils, post a video on the internet calling it the least used station in France, and then wait 5 minutes for them to post an angry comment telling me where I should have gone instead. Anyway, never mind that, because we're now approaching our destination, and if this video achieves nothing else, then I am quite possibly the first travel YouTuber ever to make a hiking montage and then soundtrack it entirely with pedantry.
And I think this is it. Les Cabrils. Next question. How do we get to it?
And here it is, the least used station in France. Officially, it's a point d'arrêt non géré, a non-staffed stopping point, also known as a PONG.
I've had to put this back on because legally I'm now in an SNCF station, which means you have to wear a mask. Someone might fine me. €135, you can't mess around with these people. It's just the one platform. It looks like, I reckon, that used to be another track there. There used to be a passing loop here. But that's obviously gone some time ago. You got the old station building behind me, which seems to be, I think it's not abandoned. It looks like someone's living there. And then someone lives in the farmhouse down there. So, what facilities are there at Les Cabrils? Well, there's a shelter, there's a timetable, there's onward travel information, there is no dot matrix, there is no ticket machine, there is no bike rack that I can see, there is a help point, which I haven't tried yet, and there's a dog. One train 6:49 in the morning, one at 2:23 in the afternoon, one at 10:10 in the evenings on Sundays and festivals. That's a bit mad. And then going in the other direction, where are we, Les Cabrils? 7:37 in the morning, or 7:10 at night. So basically, 2 trains in each direction every day, which actually feels like quite a lot for a least used station, but one of them is at an insanely early time in the morning, presumably for all the people who want to get to their jobs in Séverac-le-Château or Banassac-la-Carnourgue. What are these places? Saint-Chély-d'Apcher, Saint-Flour-Chaudaigue. That sounds like fun. Millau, they have a bit of a viaduct going on there, I think. Roquefort, for anyone who's a fan of cheese. So this section of the line is subsidised by the regional government, and must be hugely subsidised, because I've paid €1 for my trip back from here. So, yeah. If you want a really cheap trip on a train, and some nice scenery, why not come to Les Cabrils?
Right, I'm having to film this on my phone now because my camera battery ran out. But train should be here in about 5 minutes, I hope. I really hope. So that's about it from Les Cabrils, the least used station in the whole of France. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, and join me next week when I will be starting my new series, Toutes les gares, where I will be trying to visit all 3,029 stations in France. If you'd like to visit Les Cabrils or ride further on the beautiful Aubrac line, try and get here as soon as you can when international travel is safe again, because the whole route is currently under serious threat of closure to passengers. There is a campaign to try and save it, and there's a petition you can sign. It's all in French, I'm afraid, but basically it sounds like it's a classic example of a rural line where the service has been gradually run down, with trains running at weird times of the day, and if it doesn't get investment soon, then the towns and villages around here will lose their connection completely, and it could spell the end for trains running over the Garrabee Viaduct. I'll put a link to the petition in the description below. Meanwhile, thank you very much to Jeff and Vicky from All the Stations for being the inspiration behind this video, and frankly one of the inspirations behind me making videos in the first place. Check out the All the Stations channel for their epic adventures visiting every station in the UK and Ireland, while Jeff has a separate series of videos where he goes around the UK visiting the least used station in every county. I'll put the playlists on the screen in a moment. All that remains is for me to say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon.